On the land called Zimbabwe, as we speak now, the colonial project was not very complicated. It was very simple, but it worked on time. It worked on forgetfulness. It worked on repetition. It worked on greed. The two main tribes in Zimbabwe are non-existent. Whether I say you are Shona, there is no such tribe called a Shona or clan called a Shona in Zimbabwe. Whether you call yourself Ndebele, there is no such thing in Zimbabwe. There is no one called Ndebele in Zimbabwe. Yes, when you go down to the real history of Zimbabwe, you find people from the Karanga, the Korekore, there's a Zulu. Also, which, if what I've just said is anything to go by, they need to be investigated and be verified. Then how does the word Shona become a national language and a national tribe when it's not there? You might want to know. Because the colonials wanted to simplify their governing and administrative systems and confuse and dispossess the people of their knowledge. If you dispossess of their knowledge, then you can dispossess them of their land and their other resources. They called everyone who was a Karanga or a Zulu, Korekore, or any other related tribe, they called them Shona. When the word Shona was something they had learned from the people who call themselves Ndebele, who are not also there in Zimbabwe. These who were the Zulus, led by Ntumwa. So the leader of what is called Ndebele now, they are Amantumwa. But Amantumwa effectively, under the guidance of Sikiti Gasenzakakona, who was called Shaga, they were Zulu, under Zulu. But when they were Amantumwa. So you must understand that those two tribes, which are the main tribes, if I may say, if I may follow the popular narrative, they are not in Zimbabwe. Shona is not a tribe, is not a language. There is no language like that. Ndebele is a language in South Africa, in Mpumalanga, where the Bebes and the Bebes are the kings of the Ndebele. Mzilikazi was not in Ndebele. Whether there is a relationship through marriages, but the king of the so-called Ndebele in Zimbabwe was not in Ndebele. So you must understand that all this confusion in Zimbabwe is not something that any leader of a political party brought to the attention of his followers, whether through ignorance or through knowledge and through the benefits that come with the confusion. You must understand that if you listen to someone who says that they are Ndebele or running this Mtwakazi project, they say, Tina Ndebele, what. But even the leader of ZAPU was not even what the pretense of Ndebele was a Mkalanga. But he also did not educate his followers on what was and what was not. The same way with the leaders of ZANU, they never educated their people on what was and what was not. Eventually, it culminated into them being all British. Now, the Ndebele and the Shona, the ZAPU and the ZANU, they are fighting to be British now. That's exactly what they're fighting for. While they're fighting to be British, they also want their land. One, they want to be white. The other one, they want to be their land. And it doesn't work that way. So they have kept the Roman Dutch system, which is ultimately the English system, which is what they were fighting against, which is what was used to dispossess black people. Why? Now everyone's saying, my constitution, the constitution, there is no constitution in Africa that was made for black people. It was only made to protect thieves. So, like I've said, let me finish this with this word. The word Zimbabwe or Mazimbabwe. Zimbabwe is saying one big house of stone. It's also misleading because there is no nation that is built on one house. Even if you go to the ruins, there are many enclaves, which means there are many houses. So, Mazimbabwe, Mazimba Emabwe, many houses of stone, not one house of stone. Then the word Zimba means a house or a shelter, I would say. But shelter, I think I'm taking this word too long. Then the Kudzimba in Chikaranga is to capture. So Kudzimbabwe, you are capturing a rock. Kudzimba in Chikaranga means kudzimbira, to make feel painful. So when you are carving a rock, you are making it feel the pain of your carving. So you have captured it first. Zimbira, wozoita imba naro. So this word, I can go on all day. Then when a man or a male member of the family goes out, when they come back from the bush, where they possibly will be looking for a relish, usabi isishebo. Uma befuna isishebo, umuntu nxa ejika ebuya endlini, anonzi Vadzimba. Normally there are two responses. Vadzimba means the one we have captured is a honorific greeting. Vadzimba. The response would be if the person has got nothing on that day. Sangwidema, which means amahlata mnyama. Right. When the person has captured something, then they can say machena, or gamchirai, or tambirai, depending on what part of the Karanga language is in. So we tend to expect too much from ignorant people or people who intentionally misinform. We are like that. We tend to have this laziness to think and laziness to listen when other people are speaking. We tend to have the laziness to observe and laziness to listen to what we have said before or what has been said before. Like I've been saying, the very spelling of our country should have a G between the last W and B. Bre, not the bre. So I have always been saying this, but it doesn't matter because it's a good thing that when we mislead our young people, they tend to turn against us also. Because the ones who have been here before us, they can see that we're lying. So they don't see any reason why they should encourage our children to listen to us. Because already we're lying. So when our children are insulting us, it's not because of that our children are not listening. Our children are listening to those who came before us and telling them these people are lying. So don't listen to them. Because already we're lying. In many or more than one way. We are lying to get benefit from what we see now. And this short life we live. And we are giving up our position of leadership in the family to teach our children what exactly happened, who we are, where we are going, where did we come from. The colonizer, on the other hand, benefits a lot when a country like Zimbabwe fight to be in a Commonwealth. When the Commonwealth is a group of people who only benefit in one way, to be robbed, and their leaders to be taken by a bus from one place to another in London. When they are leaders, when that kind of treatment is never given to a Western leader. So we can say that our African leaders have no pride. I didn't say, is it the right word? To be put in a bus like children going to a leader being put in a bus. Do you believe that kind of thing can happen? It's sad, but it's happening. So our leaders must understand how it has been made. They have made it easy for their children not to listen to them, for their children not to follow the liberation doctrine, what we were singing about. Because even if you look, what we were singing about in the bush is exactly the opposite of what we're doing now. So what would be the result of that dismemberment of memories and actions? I want to thank you.